Alright, welcome back to the Supercoach Knife channel. In this video we're going to review NRL Fantasy, as well as the NRL Dream Team on Sports Deck after round 23 of the 2024 season. So I thought I'd mash these two together, partly because I won't be able to do the Team List Tuesday, partly because Fantasy is starting to annoy me with how late lockouts are going on Monday, so I didn't jump on yesterday afternoon. So I thought, well, I'll get it done this morning, nice and early, but I'll wrap them both up together and probably continue to do so for the rest of the season. Obviously, with the fantasy, we've got no trades left, so there's not too much to talk about. In saying that, we will talk about the team. So on 8.15 this week, did slide me down about 1,000 spots overall, which, sort of just comes down to, no trades and too much off the bench this week. But Harry Grant got us 51, so that's pretty solid. I think it's more than what he scored in Supercoach. We're pretty close, so just a solid game, but nothing spectacular in terms of upside. 60s from the Warriors boys, so Fanua Blake, Barnett, and 57 from Yo, so very solid through the middle. That's why we pick him. Koloamatangi was a bit flat this week with the 26. Fafita continues to be strong with 54. We captained Cleary, who only got a 57. So I think could have got some slightly higher scores, but you don't really want to back against him at the moment. Fogarty with a 33 was a little bit underwhelming as well, but it is what it is. Tungo with 53 is good. Kira's solid 40. Copy and paste Joe Gray, solid 40. Tommy Turbo was the standout with the 78, and then the Hammer with 28. And then on the bench we had Marnie, Joshy Curran with the 53, and Hands with the 33. And then obviously with the injuries and Tedesco on the bye, we did not get 17 on the park. And this actually cost us in the league as well. So you can see Vermal got us by about 100 points. And as I was looking through the team yesterday, I was like, I'm not doing too bad. Like, Starling only got a 34, Dylan Walker with a 36. Preston outscoring Koloamatangi, so I was like, all right, we're back sort of even, had the same halves. I guess Iro slightly better than Tungo, so a little bit of a lead there. But then I had Tommy Turbo, so I was like, oh, how have I lost by so much? You look at the bench, 83 for Plath, 66 for Calvin, 58 for Jerome Hughes. So, I guess, these two here scoring 140 compared to essentially, up against 28 for Marnie and a blank. It's, way too much to try and catch up with. So, well done, Vermal, through to the next round. I'll just try and do it off the top of my head. I think these top 4 games were the ones. So Big Keith getting the win over Weppo's winners. So I think that means Big Keith gets the week off. So just having a look through the team. Pat Carrigan with 66 they both had. So obviously without Payne Haas, he probably will stand up big in the last few rounds. Nickero with the 56 is a nice return. Both got Iro. So obviously got off Iro a bit too early. Having Galvin on the bench helped Weppo, but just trying to work out, I guess just maybe Burton with 51 as opposed to Starling might have been about the difference. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm not really sure where the difference maker is there. Maybe Isaiah Yo over Koloamatangi and Fanua Blake over Tarpany, Grant over Marnie. So I guess, and the hooker in the middle is what got him there. So the other top half, so Tim Gibbon getting a good win over Helen Keller's optometrist. So captain Isaiah Yo, but Gibbon had Maxi Plath with the 83, which is nice. Jacob Preston with 62 is a great result. Captain Ponga, so that's a pretty, handy captain. Had Tommy Turbo as well. So if you had Ponga and Turbo this week, I think you did pretty well. Has Iro on the bench as well, which is handy. pretty strong looking squad. So the other knockout game between Mamke Mania and Para B. So Mamke getting the win by about 100. So again, Max Plath and Fennell Blake outpointing Randall and Kyle Matangi. Probably the difference maker there. DCE with 51's handy. And Tommy Turbo sort of getting some points back. Eero as well. But not enough compared to that in the middle. And also on the bench, Fletcher Sharp with the 75. That's a pretty handy hold. Scored 4 tries, I think I saw. Which explains the sports tech team. Oh, having Sorensen over Sharp, that would sting. 60 points on the pine. So guess what that means this week if we go to the fixtures. No, can't do it. There we go. So we've got Wepo's winners up against Titanic, and Helen Keller's optometrist up against Mamke Mania, and I guess the boys in the bottom half still doing their thing too. But in terms of my team, I can get Tedesco back. That's a win. Hopefully, I haven't seen any injury updates, but hopefully Edwards and Trindle aren't too far away. That would be very handy to be able to access them. But we can't really do too much with the team. So as I said, we'll talk about sports tech as well. So a 949 in Dream Team this week, which pushed me up 4 spots, so exactly 300 now. So yes, technically in the top 300. But again, as you can see, 0 league wins from 1, which is a bit flat. So in this one, I've got Cook and Coruscant, so some different hookers, which is nice. 42-33 is decent. Fennell Blake with 54 and Joe Tarpany with the 65 in this format. So I did go him over Barnett just because of the extra game in round 27. Playing this one a bit more overall focused because as you can see, I'm out of the head-to-head stuff. Finally with a 46 on the bench is solid. Isaiah Nicker, I think we've talked about Curran. Porter with the 28. There's some contribution. Captain Cleary with 64, so there was better options, but it's whatever. I've got Galvin in this league though, so that's handy. And then Tommy Turbo and Fletcher Sharp, 91, 94. If I had Ponga as well, that would have been the big trio at the back. That would have been pretty sick, but 21 from Joey Gray is fine. So guess what that means for head-to-head is I got done by about 50 points by Hell's Grannies. If we have a look through, sorry, just getting some errors on my screen. But Jerome Hughes with the 65, and I think he outpointed Cleary, so by a point. So that's a nice half player to have. Kale Era again, got rid of him early in this format. Big mistake with the 68. Jacob Little with the 63. So I know in the Super Coach video I was like, who's the high scoring hooker this week? But turns out the answer was Jacob Little with the 63. Max Plath as well with the 78. So, some solid contributions there. So these 60s were sort of comfortably matched, and then, throw in a little 78 here and there. It's going to end up being a good week. And then in the other elimination final, I guess you want to call it that, Field of Dreams getting a good win over Wera Hessa Dixie. So he's got DCE with the 70, Joe Tarpany as well, Reece Walsh with the 73. So that was probably another nice option to have in the wing fullback slot. Had Lockie Galvin, and I had Fletcher Sharp on the bench, so left some points on the table. I just realised I did pretty well in terms of the week. I would have probably covered Field of Dreams. Might have even covered the 2 boys who have got the week off. It's just an unlucky draw this week, but that's okay. So what that means in terms of the league for this week is we've got Shoaib and Shane play off for the major semi-final. Winner goes straight through to the GF. And Field of Dreams plays Hell's Grannies in the minor semi. So that's the elimination one. So second chance for the top 2 this week. Good luck to everyone involved with that. In terms of trades this week, I haven't really thought about it too much. I haven't checked the injury reports and things like that. But like, hopefully Edwards and Tedesco are back. They just slot back in here. And I guess if it gets to the stage where we have to, upgrade one of these guys to get a third wing fullback, we probably could. Other than that, it's all pretty well set. Angus Crichton will be back, so we'll plug him in. And Terrell May as well. Actually, maybe if we can we do Terrell May up to Barnett? Maybe something like that. I guess it is overall, so we can be a bit more aggressive with the trading. But I guess if I do that one move, it gives me the 4 trades. So the next 2 weeks, I can, one up, one down at wing fullback, one up, one down here in the centres perhaps. Or, shuffle around a couple of halves potentially. Because other than that, I'm pretty well sorted, I think. I'm pretty happy with the team and how it's going. So yeah, we'll run with something like that. I guess we could VC Cleary this week, have a second bite at the captaincy, but I don't really know who I want to captain. I guess it'd be Turbo or Tedesco, like maybe Turbo, I suppose. At 4 points, it's always a good option. I think that's what I've gone in Supercoach as well at the moment, so we'll run with that. But yeah, we'll wrap the video up there. As always, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to add them below this video. I'll give the sort of upcoming leagues a bit of a plug too. We've got FPL starts this weekend. I'll have my game week 1 team out in the next couple of days. So if you want to join in with that, there's a link in the description. Also a link for our NFL Fantasy draft, which is in a few weeks' time. And there'll be some videos coming out in the next few days about different draft strategies. So look out for those. I think other than that, subscribe for all that stuff that's coming up. I've forgotten what else I've said, so I'll catch you in the next one.